Hello everyone and welcome to this exciting video on curriculum implementation. Today we'll explore how different approaches to implementing curriculum can shape the learning experience in powerful ways. Whether you're a teacher, student, or just curious about education, this topic is all about making learning more effective and engaging. Let's dive in and discover how curriculum implementation can transform our classroom. But before we proceed to the topic, let me first introduce to you our learning objectives. Okay, at the end of the lesson, students will be able to first identify and describe different models of curriculum implementation. Second, cite example scenarios that demonstrate the models of curriculum implementation. And lastly, we have the demonstrate a reflective attitude by expressing their perspective on how each model influences teaching practices in the classroom. Okay, the implementation of a curriculum is a critical process that ensures educational content is delivered effectively to meet learning objectives. This report examines the various aspects of curriculum implementation, including planning, teaching, strategies, resource allocation, and assessment methods. It highlights the challenges faced, the steps taken to address them, and the overall impact on student learning outcomes. By understanding these elements, we can improve the effectiveness of our educational programs and better support both educators and students in our learning process. What is curriculum implementation? Curriculum implementation refers to how teachers deliver instruction and assessment through the use of specified resources provided in a curriculum. Curriculum implementation, from the term itself, focuses on the actual implementation of the curriculum from the national level to the local social context. It describes the dynamic of how various curriculum workers strive to do their function in order to attain educational goals, programs, and policies set by the country, region, division, district, and down to the local school level. Models of curriculum implementation are essential as they guide educational authorities in selecting the most appropriate approach to effectively deliver the curriculum. These models provide a framework for educators and administrators to determine the best strategies and tactics that align with their educational goals, context, and resources. Understanding these models helps in making informed decisions about how the curriculum should be implemented to achieve the desired learning outcomes. Here are some of the key models of curriculum implementation. First, we have the Overcoming Resistance to Change or ORC model. It focuses on overcoming staff resistance to change that is persistent immediately before or at the time of the introduction of the innovation. The ORC model focuses on allowing for the personal needs of the teachers to be addressed through maintaining high flexibility in the implementation. It is the nature of a person to be resistant to change because we are creatures of habit. Changes make us feel uncomfortable. It makes us feel less competent. This is true also when we talk about the implementation of the new curriculum. ORC is a model that discusses the phases of or the stages that teachers undertake when the new curriculum is introduced to them. What are the challenges they are facing? Why they become resistant to innovations? More importantly, this theory also helps school administrators to identify reasons why teachers become resistant to change, letting them also realize that the need to properly address these kinds of concern. The following are its stages. First, we have the unrelated concerns. No relationship between myself and the suggested change. The first stage is a stage of indifference. A teacher is aware of change but do not see how it relates to their own life. As such, the teacher is not worried about what whatever innovation is coming. An example might be hearing about efforts to bring online learning to a school. The teacher knows this innovation is out there, but it has not impacted them yet. Stage 2 is a personal concerns. How will this change affect me? The teacher is now concerned with how the new innovation or curriculum will impact their life personally. For example, an English teacher wrestling with using online learning will affect what they are trying to do in the classroom. Stage 3, task-related concerns. How do I implement it? How much time will it require? Materials? In stage 3, the teacher is thinking about how to use the new curriculum or innovation. Questions begin to go through their head in terms of application. For the online learning example, the teacher may wonder about such problems as how much time will it take to learn this? What are the best ways to use this new innovation? What kind of support will I get? These are just of the many questions that are possible. Stage 4 is the impact-related concerns. How will it impact my students? Now, the teacher has taken their focus of their performance and are now worried about how will this affect the students. At this stage, teachers are focusing on their students, peers, and school. For the online learning example, teachers start to wonder how online learning will benefit the students. A teacher may start to wonder how other teachers are doing as they try to use this new innovation. The shift here is from self to others. Next model, we have the Leadership Obstacle Course or LOC model. This model focuses on developing strong leadership skills among those responsible for implementing the curriculum. This model tells the significance of knowing the extent of resistance of the teacher against the new program or innovation. There must be a gathering of data that must be done to determine this extent or scope. The organizational members must have a clear understanding of the proposed innovation, and individuals within the organization must be given relevant skills so that they possess the capabilities requisite for carrying out the innovation. The model involves 3 stages: preparation, implementation, and evaluation. In the preparation stage, potential leaders are identified and provided with training and development opportunities. In the implementation stage, these leaders are put in positions of authority and responsibility to lead the implementation process. While in the evaluation stage, the effectiveness of the leadership is assessed and adjustments are made as necessary. Let us now proceed to our third model, which is the linkage model. This model emphasizes the importance of aligning the curriculum with broader educational goals and standards. The model involves 4 stages: goal setting, curriculum development, implementation, and evaluation. This model acknowledges that aside from the school itself, there are innovators in research and development centers, universities, and etc., who can provide clearer pictures of problems that exist because of the implementation of the new program. They are referred to by this model as a resource system, while school, on the other hand, is said to be the user system. There has to be a link between these 2 systems. It is the job of the resources system to know the user system's problem and analyze it. Here are the stages of linkage model. Stage 1 is goal setting. Educational goals and standards are identified and used to guide the curriculum development process. Stage 2 is curriculum development. The curriculum is designed to align with these goals and standards. And for the stage 3 is the implementation. The curriculum is put into practice with ongoing adjustments made as needed. And lastly, the evaluation. The effectiveness of the curriculum is assessed against the educational goals and standards. Next up, we have the organizational development model. This model is an information processing change strategy that enables the system to improve its operation and the quality of interaction among its members to facilitate the introduction of change. The model involves four stages: diagnosis, planning, intervention, and evaluation. Stage 1 is diagnosis. The strengths and weaknesses of the organization are assessed in relation to the curriculum goals. Stage 2 is planning. Strategies are developed to address any identified weaknesses and to build the necessary infrastructure for effective implementation. Stage 3 is evaluation. The effectiveness of the strategies is assessed and adjustments are made as necessary. And for the stage 4, or the last stage, we have the intervention. The strategies are put into practice with ongoing monitoring and adjustment. Last model that we have is the RAND change agent model. This model focuses on identifying and developing individuals who can act as change agents to lead curriculum implementation efforts. The RAND change agent, or the RCA model, suggests that organizational dynamics seems to be the chief barriers to change. Now that we've explored the models of curriculum implementation, let's dive into the next important topic: curriculum workers. These are the dedicated individuals who bring the curriculum to life in our schools. Let's learn more about the roles and impact. First, we have the teacher. Of course, the most visible among the curriculum workers. Their roles as implementers of the curriculum are very crucial. It is through their expertise, creativity, and commitment that any curriculum success is attributed. Teachers develop lesson plans, unit plans, yearly plans, and syllabi for each subject they teach. They prepare instructional materials, select methods and strategies, and assess students' progress. Every day, teachers are given teaching loads to teach different subjects. Their educational background, educational philosophy, teaching styles, and personality affect the implementation of the curriculum. Next, we have the principal, the chief academic and administrative officer of the school. They provide curricular and instructional leadership and supervision to the teachers and other school personnel in the local school context. It is they who lead teachers in planning different school activities and make sure that all educational goals set by the Department of Education are met. Principals check the lesson plans developed by teachers, prepare the school calendar, supervise instruction, and prepare school report. Principals also work with parents and community leaders and win their support to any school activities and projects. The curriculum consultant. Individuals with rich experience in doing curriculum projects related to curriculum planning, curriculum development, and curriculum evaluation. Next is the district supervisor. They are responsible for supervising the implementation of the curriculum in the district level. They help public school principals in ensuring that the programs of the Department of Education are implemented in their respective schools. They also implement policies and programs of the Department of Education in private schools. Next, education supervisor. They are assigned to specific subject areas in basic education. They help the district office of the Department of Education in supervising the implementation of projects and programs specific for each subject area. Next to the education supervisor, we have the division superintendent, the chief academic officer of each division. The division superintendent supervise the implementation of the DepEd curriculum, programs, and projects in the division level for both public and private schools. Next, we have the regional director. The regional director manages the programs and projects of the Department of Education in the regional level. Next to it is the education program specialist. Work at the national level at the central offices of the Commission on Higher Education and Department of Education. They assist the two government agencies in the development of the curriculum policies that will help teachers and other curriculum leaders in the implementation of the curriculum. And lastly, we have the technical panels and technical committees. Professors and individual experts from different disciplines and fields that assist the Commission on Higher Education in developing curriculum, formulating curriculum policies, and evaluating the compliance on higher education institutions to CHED program standards. There you have it, the curriculum workers. These are the key people who play a crucial role in shaping and implementing the curriculum, making a direct impact on student learning. Understanding their roles helps us appreciate the teamwork behind the effective education. In conclusion, the models of curriculum implementation provide a structured approach to how educational content is delivered, directly influencing teaching practices and learning outcomes. Each model offers unique strategies that cater to different educational needs and contexts. And for the curriculum workers like teachers and administrators and support staff, play vital roles in bringing these models to life. Their expertise, collaboration, and commitment are essential in ensuring that the curriculum is effectively implemented, making a positive impact on students. Okay, that is it. I hope you learned something today and thank you for listening.